Welcome to a special mini-series of Diary of a Dreamer called Be the Change, where resilience, critical thinking, and everyday courage come together. I'm Tasha Eisinger, and in this series, we're exploring how ordinary people can create meaningful change. We'll talk about how to think clearly, engage responsibly, and take action in ways that truly make a difference. If you've ever wondered how to stay level-headed, raise resilient kids, participate in your community, and be a force for positive change, this series is for you. You can learn more about my work at tashaeisinger.com. Let's dive into today's conversation and explore how we can be the change. Mrs. Bonner, also known as Kristin, which is kind of awkward to say because you're my former teacher from many years ago.
Many years ago.
I think, was I your first year?
No, you were my 10th year of school because I
Why
left.
No, I graduated in 2002.
Right, but I taught from 93 to 2002.
Gotcha. I thought, okay.
Yeah.
93 to 2002, and then
Stayed home with my kids for about a decade
yeah,
and then came back. And
right
now I'm
around
back.
yeah, and then got to experience pre and post COVID teaching, which we'll talk about.
Yes.
Yes.
Taught through COVID.
Yes.
That was interesting.
Yeah, that could be just an episode on its own.
Yeah.
Actually.
Oh yeah, for sure. A lot of this talking to a camera.
Screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever seen The Internship?
No.
Okay, there's always, every time I'm on camera, I just want to do the thing that they do because they don't know how to talk into the camera,
Oh,
the
yeah?
webcam. So they're like yelling and like in the screen, and it's so funny. Just that clip alone, you should YouTube it.
Okay.
It's so funny.
I will.
But yeah, so I'm glad that you're here because you had done a Facebook post, which I tried to find last night, couldn't find it. I don't know when you posted it, but it was relatively recently.
Okay.
And it was about basically having conversations with people you disagree with.
Mm-hmm.
And I had commented, and I had been wanting to do this series for a while now, but I don't have the time.
Sure.
I don't have the energy.
Mm-hmm.
I've got too much going on, but I think we're at a critical time period in our country and the world.
Yeah.
That we must take action, and healthy action now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because it's so many things are crumbling. You're seeing it in your classroom.
Yeah.
And so I'm really excited to do this with you.
Great.
So we can make a change.
Great.
We
need to make a change.
Yeah. And we're not going to tell people like politically what you're supposed to believe.
No.
That's not the goal.
It doesn't matter.
No.
We can all be good humans.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's kind of the foundation of what we have to remember is that the people that we love, a lot of them really are just good human beings.
Mm-hmm.
So how can we get back to having tough conversations with people we disagree with?
Okay.
And maintain respect and understanding?
Well, I think it begins at home. Everything, I think, begins at home. But, if you've had siblings, you had disagreements with them inevitably. And how did your parents handle that? What was the situation? And sometimes you have to agree to disagree and assume that people are human and just move on from there. But I think spending time with people who are different than you makes a huge difference. I tried to take my own children to places that were different from our house. Kids that were raised differently, cultures that are different than ours, even just reading about different places, debriefing kids in the car after an experience.
That is so fascinating, by the way, because I like doing the same thing.
Yeah.
We do a little debrief.
Mm-hmm. Like, what did you learn from that? And
yes.
And even if you hold very strong beliefs about a particular subject, you can explain to your children, this is why I think this, but maybe they have a different perspective. Maybe their experience is different. Maybe they had an experience growing up that changed the way they look at whatever it is. And so talking, I think, is the biggest thing. I've noticed a lot on social media where people will lump everyone into categories.
Yes.
Like not
You're
everybody
super-
is one
yes.
thing or another. We're all kind of in the middle, and we have to learn to like meet in the middle.
I agree. Putting
Yeah.
people in boxes is not fair.
No.
You know, it's either you're woke or you're racist.
Right. Right.
And I think most people, there are a percentage of people, right, that fit in
Sure.
those categories.
Extreme.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a small percentage.
Yes.
The
Yes.
most of us are here in the middle of
Right.
like where we operate in our day-to-day lives. One of my favorite questions to ask my kids when they tell me something, because you know I got girls, they tell me
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's really interesting. What do you think about that?
Mm-hmm.
And I get them to use their brain
Yeah.
to process.
Yeah.
Or if they strongly disagree with a classmate,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it's okay, well, why do you think they believe that?
Right.
But they give you information.
Right. Right.
Or is it just regurgitating what was said at the
Yeah.
dinner table? Right.
I think a lot of parents, especially younger parents, you know, that have kids 0 to 10 probably now, they were also raised with technology.
Yeah.
You know, so now we have the parents that have, like my generation didn't have technology.
No.
And so we understood the human interaction and the need for it, where now people are tired, parents are tired, they work, they come home. It's so much easier to put your kids in front of the TV or whatever. Just, I need a break. And they don't really understand the detriment that it's causing to their kids. And I mean, I see it. My students now, they can't focus for probably 3 minutes. 3 minutes.
And
3.
before, the statistics, I think, were if you're 3 years old, it's 3-minute attention span. Now
Yeah.
your students are what ages?
14 or 15 or 16.
So they should be able to,
Oh, for
15 minutes, have an attention
For
span.
sure. For sure.
That is
Yeah.
really sad.
And so teachers are constantly trying to, you know, mix it up, change it up, do something different so that they can learn. And it's finally gotten to the point where I don't think there's anything more we can do to
Yeah.
make them have an attention span other than remove the technology. But, you know, if they're watching it at home, it's just really hard to fight
It is really
for
hard.
that attention.
Yeah.
They just can't do it simply.
Yeah.
So,
You know what's funny? So I'm in the Zennial, I think is what I
Okay.
am, where
Yeah.
I'm like in that very small subcategory where we grew up in both worlds.
yes.
Before
the
and-
very end.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So in high school, cell phones became more of a thing. They weren't
Yeah.
smartphones.
Yeah.
We still had MapQuest.
Oh my goodness.
The
I love it.
We thought it was
Get
a good
the
idea
printout.
until you got lost, and then you're like, but
Yeah.
it doesn't tell me how to get back to where I was.
Yeah. I remember that. Lots of fighting in the car with MapQuest.
And then you could do reverse directions because it'd be hard. You're like, oh wait, I went right before, I think, but now I have to go.
Oh
So
my
it did the reverse.
goodness.
Isn't that so funny?
Yeah. But we learned. We learned.
We did. And so I got to experience kind of both worlds,
Mhm.
which is really interesting.
Mhm.
And I do understand parents are exhausted. They're in survival mode.
Yeah.
It is easier just to
Yeah,
put your
for
kids in front
sure.
of TV.
For sure.
But like, here's the recommendation. Make sure it's like quality TV, right?
Yeah.
Not YouTube shorts or social
Yeah.
media where it's like flashes of information,
Right.
that it's long form content.
I
Right.
read something the other day. It was talking about how many times it changes in a Disney movie, like an old Disney
Yes.
movie versus now. And it's like 10 times as fast. And when we were younger, there was like an end to a movie.
Yes.
Okay. And you wrapped it up and you turned off the TV.
Yeah.
Where now it just something else comes and something else comes, and kids just keep wanting more and more and more. And
I
they don't
know.
have an end because their brains can't keep up with the information. And so it's just a constant. And so
Yes.
that's why they can't just finish and walk away.
Yeah.
It's an addiction.
Well, and think about how many people joke about binge watching.
Oh, sure.
Guilty.
Yeah, sure.
Because I'm
for sure.
somebody that like would
Mhm.
do that even with a book. I stay up way late because I
Yes.
have to know the end.
Yes.
Like,
yeah,
it's like
I
agonizing.
want it done.
I have to know.
Mhm.
Right. So
Like we had to wait a week. Like
what
the
you told me.
TV show came out and we had to wait a whole week to see what the next thing was.
I know, and they had the cliffhangers, and now you can
Mhm.
just click
I
next.
know. Yeah.
And so, some
different.
of it's really, it's not the kids' fault necessarily. Even like the radio. We used to listen
Yeah.
to the radio, and then you would
And
wait
wait.
for your favorite song.
Yeah.
And then if you tried to record it,
Yeah.
and if you missed it, you missed it. Like it just was a whole
Yes.
thing. And now I'm
Yes.
like, oh, my kids pick their Spotify songs.
Yeah.
They don't even have to wait for the radio.
Instantly.
So I do little things at home to try to combat both worlds, right? So they
Right.
have to know how to function in this world
Mhm.
and also put some parameters in place to protect them and their sweet brains. That's what
I
I tell them,
know.
like, you have good brains. I want to protect them.
Right.
Right. And nurture them and grow them. So what are some like very doable
Well,
ideas you
one
have?
one of the things that I've been thinking about a lot, because my kids, my oldest, like we didn't really, I don't even think I had a phone when they were little. And
Probably
so
not.
so they were very they were raised a little bit more like I was than kids today. And one of the things that I've noticed about kids is they don't have the basic skills that we assume they have. Like this week, I had a group of girls folding some t-shirts, and they were like, I've never folded a shirt before. And these
Okay,
are like
I
high
want you to
schoolers.
say that again. What did they tell you?
Okay.
That
So
hurts my heart.
we got shirts. I'm a theater teacher, so we got some t-shirts that needed sorted, and put the smalls here, the mediums here, the larges here. And they were like, we've never folded a shirt before. Now they
Okay.
hang up their shirts. I will
Right.
say they do chores. It's not that they
Right.
don't, but these are like the little things that you don't think about. And I was like, huh, that's interesting. You know, little things like that. Like we don't take them to the grocery store anymore because we have grocery pickup. And so like my kids had to go down every row with me. Those are the green beans. Can we get tricks? And we talked about, they weren't looking at a screen.
No.
They were looking at the boring grocery items and learning that costs more than that. Little skills. Take them to library story hour. That was a huge thing for my kids.
Yeah. And it's free.
It
Libraries.
is.
Like,
And when I
use
stayed
your
home,
library.
when I stayed home with my kids, we were on a single income. We chose to do that. I
Yeah.
mean, I stepped away and I was like, okay, we're going to do it.
Just means you say no to a lot of things.
A lot of things.
And you learn how to find the yeses that fit.
For sure. But we lived close to Syracuse, Indiana, where there's the big lake.
Yeah.
And there was a beach. So I would be like, we're going to the beach today.
Yeah.
They were like, this is great, going to the lake.
Adventure.
Yeah. And we would stop and get a Happy Meal, on the way or whatever. And it was like a huge day. Or on Wednesdays, there's free movies at the movie theater. And, so lots of things you can do. But most of it is talking to them.
Yeah.
Just talking and interacting and really boring things, because that's what we don't do, is we entertain them, and they don't know how to be bored, and creativity comes from boredom.
It does. One of my things with my kids is they say that they're bored. It's like, oh, there's plenty that can be done around the house.
Yes.
So you can clean, very deep clean the house.
Yes.
Or you can find something to do. And they always find something.
Oh, for sure.
Isn't that amazing?
For sure. For sure. Even I would find something to do rather than clean. Yeah, for sure.
Yes. I could get very immersed in pretty much anything.
Oh, yeah.
Which I do. My house
Yes.
is a disaster.
I know. It's okay.
Yeah.
They'll move out eventually when they're older, and then you can clean.
Yeah. Well, and I'm also a big believer in being clear on what is it that you want your kids to be able to do when they leave the house? Like when I was in college, I was surprised at so many kids didn't know how to cook. And so I would make like roast and mashed potatoes and gravy and all different things in college.
Right.
And would make homemade meals. So when I was student teaching, the teachers were like, did you make that?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I cook.
Yeah.
And so even just every summer, now that my older one's old enough, for years now, I'm like, every summer, I want you to learn how to make one dish really well. Right.
That's amazing. I love that.
And it's fun. And pick out the ingredients, pick out the dish, whatever it is. And you're going to learn how to make it really well. And so I think even just that is very doable.
Yeah.
It's one thing.
Yeah.
And then by the time they're out of the house, they've learned many things, right?
I read a book one time. It was like, I think it's called like 1,000 Things Your Kids Need to Know Before They Move Out.
Ooh.
I think it was something like that.
I'll look it up and put it in the show notes, because that sounds like a great book.
It's very basic, but it was one of the things I remember was go to the doctor and fill out the paperwork.
Oh, that's a good
And I was like, oh my gosh, did I because, even
My kids are ruined. I didn't do that.
But I was like, that's really good. So when they were older, I was like, okay, let's try it, because I would be with them. And they were like, well, I need an insurance card or whatever it is, and what is that? And just little things that, like when I was in college, the first year I was at Ball State, I had to have my appendix out. I knew nothing. I didn't know where to go, what to do. Where's the ER?
You didn't have Google.
No, like it was terrible.
Oh,
it was terrible.
So awful.
So you start thinking like, what are the things that could possibly happen?
Mm-hmm.
And what do they need to know?
Not to fearmonger, just like common sense stuff. Like think about the stuff that you had to learn in your 20s.
Yeah. How to buy groceries.
Yeah.
Like
how to budget.
My middle son, I have 2 girls and a boy in the middle. He just bought his first house. And at 22, on his 22nd birthday, signed the papers. And I know, but he was like, I don't even know what all this stuff is, so I was with him.
Does.
No, I know. I was like, you're learning way early because I was probably 26. But like just little things. And the realtor and everyone were great explaining things to him. And they're like, you're going to get this in the mail. This is what you do, and I was like, these are huge things, huge. And a lot of those things you can't prepare kids for, but if they have the confidence that they can do things, they'll figure it out. But the students now, they just don't have that confidence. They're just like quitters. They're quitters. They're like, well, I can't do it. And I'm like, well, have you even tried?
Yet. Yeah. I can't do it yet.
Right.
That is not a complete sentence.
Right. For sure.
Okay, so how do we teach them then? Like, I know what I do a lot to teach my kids that they know how to do hard things. It's important to learn how to do hard things. When they get frustrated, and I let them be frustrated, and I guide them through that instead of fixing it, right? I feel like some of those things are important.
Yeah.
They need to have that confidence
I think
to do that. But what else do you think we need to do?
I think the number one thing you can do is let your kids fail.
Yeah, let them mess up.
Like big time. Like there are consequences to our actions. And if you do something bad, the consequence is often bad. But if you do something good, sometimes good things happen. And so even from when they're little, like I had a friend that had children before me, and she's like, if the ball rolls under the chair and your little kid wants to get it, they're a toddler, don't get it for them.
Yeah,
let them get it. Yeah. And it starts when they're little.
Yeah.
And then it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And by the time, like, I have an example. I did a musical recently, and I had a student that had a solo in the musical. This is the first time this happened to me. I've done musicals for like 30 years. And I explained to her, I want it to be a little bit more like this. I didn't say you're bad. I didn't say it's terrible. I'm like, I just want it to be a little more kind of like this kind of a character. Drops to the ground crying because she couldn't handle that she had failed. And I'm like,
that's not even a failure.
No,
that's
I'm like
feedback and guidance.
Exactly. And so I was like so shocked because I'm like, this is where we're at now. Now that doesn't happen every day.
No, that's like an extreme example.
Right. But I'm like, you have to learn to fail. You
and
have
get
to.
back up.
Yes.
That's part of life.
Yeah. I have my youngest daughter is in college, and she called me several times her first year, and she's like, I took a risk today. I took a risk. I went where there was nobody I knew, and I did this thing. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so proud.
Yes.
Like it's those things. I don't care if you get straight A's. I just want you to try.
Yes.
If
you've done your best and got all C's, awesome.
I know.
Awesome.
I know. I'm all about it.
Have you heard of the book Mindset by Dr. Carol Dweck?
No.
Because she writes about what you're talking about. There's research to prove that you congratulate the process, not the outcome.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you trying. You didn't say, oh, what happened?
Right.
Oh, did you have success? You said you took a risk. I'm proud of the risk.
Yes, for sure.
So compliment the process of like, I love seeing that you were frustrated. You allowed yourself to feel frustrated. You took a deep breath and you kept trying.
Yes.
Not that you accomplished it, but you kept going.
I'll tell you an example that I'm starting in my class this week. So we're reading To Kill a Mockingbird in my
The
class.
books, not
Yeah.
the actual books.
Yeah. So I'll tell you the whole story.
Yeah, go
So
ahead.
I got this great idea that we needed to give every student a book. And so I put out on social media, if anybody wants to donate a book, send in a book. I got 150 books sent to me because people know that kids need to read. And so I gave every student a book. I'm like, put your name on it. This is your book. Okay. So it's been interesting because my class now talks a lot because
Isn't that the best?
I know they don't have any electronics. I said no laptops are allowed, no phones, nothing. So they have nothing to do but read and talk. And so for the first time in years, I've had to tell them to be quiet, which is great.
And you're smiling on
I'm
the
so
inside,
happy about
aren't you?
it.
You're
I'm
like,
so happy. Yeah. So
whereas before that probably would have been very frustrating as a teacher.
Oh,
Like, they
yeah.
won't stop talking. Now you're like, actually, this is a good thing.
yeah, because they used to just sit in the back and watch YouTube and not talk to each other even. And so I'm like, we got to stop that. So anyway, yesterday I gave them this new assignment where I gave them 3 options of 3 different paragraphs. And I'm like, you're going to memorize it.
Oh, did they freak out?
Yeah, they're like, there's no way we can do that. There's
A whole
there's
paragraph?
no way. And I'm like, you know the words to songs.
Yeah.
You know, you can do this. And they were like, we can't do it. We can't do it. There's no way. And what they want to know is when it's due, because they'll wait till the last minute and then they'll try to cram it and they won't be able to do it. And so I'm like, I'm not telling you when it's due, but every single day.
Okay, listen, I'm 42. That gives me anxiety.
I know, but I'm like, every single day, I'm going to make them stand up. Yesterday was the first day.
Okay.
So we stand up. I go, say your paragraph out loud. Okay, turn around, face the wall, say your paragraph out loud. Okay, now just say the first line and then put the paper down and try to say the first line without the paper. We're going to go through it every day. Every day.
So you're teaching them how to learn, which I love.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I have to tell you my success story. So there's a little girl in one of my classes that she sits in the front row. This is my first semester to have her. So I've only known her since January. She's never spoken in my class. She's real quiet, super shy. I'm like, these are the kids. You're like, I hope they can do it. They know.
And you're a theater person.
Yeah.
So you're like, girl, come on.
So yesterday I asked everybody what number they were doing. She told me. And so then we did our little practice and then class went on and we had class. Well, then she came up to me after class. Never has spoken to me. And if you remember, I have a stage in the front of my room. So my desk is up on the stage. So you have to like come up there. So it's kind of daunting for the quiet people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this cute little girl comes up and she's like, Mrs. Bonner, I think I almost have it memorized already. And I'm like, no way. No way. I go, she's like, well, I worked on it last night. Because normally they don't take anything home. And she's like, I'm a dancer and I've been up in front of people. But, it's kind of a daunting thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think you're going to be at a little bit of an advantage because if you're going to work on it outside of class, better. But then also we're going to do some movement and muscle memory with learning it and you'll be fine. You'll be fine. But I'm like, that kid would have never spoken to me if we hadn't done that. You know what I mean? She would have just
huge win.
sit. And I'm like, my job here is done.
You will remember her for the rest of your life.
I will. And she will remember when she's 30, that paragraph.
She will.
She will. And I'm so excited about it.
So
the rest of them are all freaking out. But this one little kid, I'm like, good for you.
Oh my goodness. And that's why you teach.
I know. It is.
Moments like that of like those breakthrough moments.
For sure.
And I also like that you are not giving them a pep talk. Like I hear that where like a kid says, I can't. And it's like, oh, you can do anything. And blah, 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 blah. And like pumping them up. And it's like, no, you're going to prove to yourself you are capable.
Yes.
They have to prove it to themselves because that becomes part of the wiring in their brain down the road.
Yeah.
They will, like you said, she's going to remember that paragraph forever.
For sure.
Like they remember those moments of, that was a really hard thing and I did it.
Yeah.
And I didn't think I could.
And that's what we have not done with our children now.
Yeah.
Let them do hard things, let them fail, and then let them get back up and try it again until they see some sort of success or something that they learned. You don't have to always be successful, but you can learn.
Yes.
I'm not good at everything, but I'm good at some things and I've learned what I'm good at and what I'm not by failing.
Right.
So
I think it gives more confidence when you can prove to yourself too, of like the next time your kid says, I can't, it's like, oh, wait, remember that thing?
Yeah.
the thing that you thought was really
Yes,
hard and you
for
did
sure.
it,
Mhm.
instead of being like, oh, you can, baby.
Yeah.
I'll do it for
Yeah.
you.
I know.
Time,
Oh my gosh.
one time, I know I taught pre-COVID, so it's very different. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
But I had a student who turned in an assignment, and I was the writing teacher, so I knew my kids' writing ability and their writing style. And I gave them an F.
Mm-hmm.
And they came up and said, Mrs. Heisinger, I'm so confused. Why did I get an F? Like, this was a good paper. And I said, because your mom wrote it for you.
Ah.
So I was grading an adult.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so if you want to do it again, you
Mhm.
can. And I will grade you,
Yes.
a fifth grader.
Right.
But it was an F paper.
Yeah.
So you need to do it yourself.
Yeah.
Come
I
on.
mean,
Have your
parents,
kids do their work.
I know. And I'm guilty. Like, I have rescued my kids when I probably shouldn't have, because sometimes it's easier.
It is easier and you're exhausted.
It is. And sometimes you're embarrassed if, like, there's something that you
Yeah.
want them to be good at that they're not. I mean, there's just so many reasons. My two daughters dance with your niece.
Yeah.
And one of them quit point about halfway through high school because she just wasn't good at it.
Yeah.
Okay. So she didn't have strong ankles or an arch or whatever she needed. And the dance teachers were like, thank you
Yeah.
for letting your kid know she doesn't have to be good at everything, because they
Right.
have parents that are, you have to be good at it. So they leave them. And I'm like, I don't want her coming out every week crying
No.
because she's miserable, but they have to try things and fail, and they have to try things and be good and celebrate the successes and celebrate the learning.
And I'm hearing you say they need to be self-reflective.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Yeah.
they need to become
Yeah.
self-aware and reflect and
For sure.
determine what makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I look back and I think, oh my goodness, there's times where I'm like, oh, I should have quit sooner.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I grew up in a farming family.
Yeah.
It's just a different dynamic,
Yeah.
right?
You don't quit.
You don't. No. Hybrid seed corn business. It doesn't matter what the weather is or how you feel. Like you just have to get it done, right?
Yeah.
So there are times where I'm like, oh, I really should have. So I think that's great too.
Mhm.
Like there's a balance, right?
Right.
With everything.
Right.
Not being too extreme.
Well, and you have to take their age into account. You don't expect a 6-year-old to be an Olympic athlete.
Some
I mean,
parents do, but
yeah, I mean, and one of the things I think helped me parenting, and I was not the best parent, but one of the things that really stood out to me was the fact that because I taught high school, I saw what kids were like in high school. And so when you see that behavior in a small child, some people, oh, that's cute. And I'm like,
it won't be
not
cute when they're a
cute.
teenager.
Yeah. When they steal your car and take it and you can't find them, that's not cute.
Right.
And so those things I think helped me decide what was important and what was not.
And you know what's funny? I know before I became a first-year teacher, I was like, I will never do this thing.
Oh, yeah.
Never in a million years. And then like the first 9 weeks, you're like, well, I did it.
Yeah.
I sure did it.
For sure. Same with parenting.
So then I learned, I was like, I will not say that as a parent.
Mm-hmm.
I will set my standards of like what I would like to be like, but I'm not going to say I will never do it.
It's hard when you're in the trenches.
It is, but also having that perspective of like what you're saying. I saw fifth graders and I saw it on like, oh, as they get a little bit older, this is what could possibly happen.
Yeah.
So if I can be preventative, even though I'm exhausted and tired and just doing your best. But I do think like parents really are doing their best.
They are. And
the teachers are doing their best. Like everybody is doing their best. It's just, I don't want people to listen and think like we're like you're doing a bad job.
No.
But like what you're teaching your kids and your students to be self-reflective, I think that's what we all need to do is reflect on, okay, where are we winning as a parent that we're proud of and we feel good about, and where can we get a little bit better?
And to think long term.
Yeah.
I remember talking to a friend who had a really bright kid and was thinking about sending them to kindergarten early.
Okay.
And I'm like, I was a young student. Like I graduated at 17. I was younger than all my classmates. And I always felt like I wasn't able to do all the things they could do. They could drive way before me, all the things. And I'm like, think about your student when they're 16, 17, or 18, being younger. Don't just think about they're smart enough to do kindergarten now. Okay. Cause they are
Yeah.
smart enough, but algebra 3 or chemistry or whatever that you
Yeah.
take way in advance because you're ahead of everyone is very difficult. And so you have to think long term with all sorts of things, education, behavior, all of the things that are in parenting. And it's really hard to do that when you're in the thick of it. You're
is.
just trying to solve the problem at the moment. And
with sleep deprivation and
yeah,
absolute
your
exhaustion.
exhaustion. Yeah.
I mean, it's so real.
We've all been there.
Oh my goodness. I think about that sometimes in the middle of the night. I'm like, the Navy SEALs, they ring
my
the bell when
goodness.
they're finally,
I know.
I'm like, I'm a mom. I can't ring that bell.
No,
Right?
no, I know.
And they seriously give them sleep deprivation to get them to ring the bell.
Right.
Like it's
Right.
like, yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm going to be a really good grandparent
I
because
know, yeah.
I had good parents. And so they rescued me a lot. And I think I'll be able to do that with my kids and be
Yeah.
like, you need a break. I'll take the kids.
You need to sleep, rest.
Yeah.
Watch a
Just once in a
movie.
while,
Yeah.
come over and
Yeah.
we'll do something outside or whatever.
Absolutely.
But go to the beach.
Right. Go to the beach. I love it. So what are you seeing pre and post COVID? I've been hearing a lot of teachers say that there's a big difference. For example, my younger one was born 2021.
Okay.
So that was very,
Uh-huh.
face masks, all of that.
Yeah.
And the 3-4 teacher has been teaching for a very long time. She had to, because some of the kids did not know how to play and use their imagination.
Yeah.
She had to bring older kids in to teach the younger kids.
Mhm.
And then the principal has told me that they've had a huge spike in speech therapy because
Yes.
having the
Yeah.
masks
Mhm.
and social interaction and things. So
Mhm.
those are just some younger kid things.
Yeah.
But what are you seeing in high school?
That's a good question. It's really hard to determine if the issues are COVID, technology, parenting, or if it's just been the trifecta of all of it and it's a disaster.
It probably
what I
is
mean?
it's a combination. It's never when people pick one thing, like this one
right.
thing, it never is one thing.
Right.
Yeah.
It isn't. And every kid is so different. I would say human interaction is so important. And going through COVID and keeping people away from people made kids not as resilient and not, we didn't, when my kids were little, we would go to the McDonald's playland full of germs. And my daughter, my oldest daughter would be like, I made a friend. Can she come over? And I'm like, I don't even know these people, but she just talked to people and interacted, and kids just don't do that. And then we handed them a phone. And so now they can just stare at that and feel like they have interaction. And also, your kids come with a certain bent. Like my 3 kids are vastly different from each other.
Sure.
My son's an introvert, and so he's happy to be at home. Where my girls, my oldest one is kind of in the middle. She really enjoys people, but can entertain herself. My youngest one needs people 24/7. And so they're all vastly different, and you just have to kind of go with their needs. Like I was always concerned that my son didn't have as much interaction, but he doesn't need it.
Right.
Where the others they need people. And so I think parenting is so complicated. It's so complicated. And so COVID just added another dimension on top of all of the questions on how am I doing it right? And I think the students I have now, the freshmen, were in 2nd grade during COVID. And so I have one girl that spends some time with younger elementary kids, and she can't believe that the little kids don't remember COVID. And I'm like, you were little then, like they're tiny. And so it was just a huge world experience. I think that it changed us for a while. I will say that I think we have now realized the importance of human interaction, and it's going to swing the other way. I really do believe that.
I have to believe that.
Yeah.
I have
We need it.
We need it. We need to
Yeah.
have hope.
Yeah. And I see that with, you know, my theater kids are pretty high functioning. They can memorize a lot of lines and sing and
Mhm.
dance and do all the things.
Okay, we need to pause. I went to all of the productions
Oh,
when I was in high school.
yeah.
They are phenomenal.
We
Like,
have a good group.
it's not kids acting on a stage just I mean, they are truly performing
Yeah.
massive productions.
Yeah.
I remember like Joseph,
Oh my
amazing
gosh,
kid,
that was the
and the
best.
coat over the audience and just like,
Yeah.
oh my word.
Yeah. it was-
So yes,
yeah, they're big.
it's like true.
Did you know they're
productions.
building a new performing arts
I
center?
was hoping you would say something about that.
Yes, I'm so excited. Next fall, we're opening a new performing arts center at our school. It's going to be amazing.
At Wawasee.
Yes.
You should go. Like
It's a challenge. And I feel like even as a teacher, you need challenges,
Absolutely.
new projects or whatever.
Yeah.
I can't remember what I was saying.
I don't either because
Something
I got
about
so
my
distracted.
high functioning.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. So I have high functioning kids in theater, and a lot of it stems from their parenting.
Yeah.
Okay. They have involved parents, and I know a lot of their parents because they come and help us. And a lot of them come from 2-parent homes, not all of them.
That does help.
It does
I mean,
help
does
because
help.
it
It's
just
not.
divides the work.
Yeah.
We have some great single parent homes too, but
It's just I feel for single parents.
yeah,
how
they've got
hard
twice the work.
It's so hard.
Yeah. And I just see the involvement with each other and with their parents helping, and then their intellect and abilities have been challenged, and we fail a lot before we get it right. And I would put my drama kids up against almost any adults. I would
capable.
write them letters of recommendation right and left, because they are going to be the employees that you want, no matter what they choose to do, because they're resilient.
Yeah.
And we've lost a little bit of that with all of these other things. And so whatever you can do to create resilience, and it's not making your kids' life easier. I wish I had made my kids' life a little harder, actually. We gave them probably too much and made their lives easy. And so
life is not easy. That's what's
it's
so
not.
ironic about it.
It's
is
not.
Their brain development, their habits, their
Mhm.
behaviors, all of that is from the foundation of when they're younger.
Yes.
And so, I mean, my kids are still young. So I'm crossing
Yeah.
my fingers
Yeah.
that I'm doing the
I
right
know.
thing,
I
right?
know.
Like you don't know, but I am very big on, I want to have capable, independent, kind
Yes.
people
Right.
going out into the world.
Right.
So if I want them to be capable, independent, and kind, I have to foster that in the home
Yes.
as best I can.
And you have to be that.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And
And-
it's hard. I'm always
Oh
like,
my
set the
gosh.
example. That's my mom's number one thing
Mhm.
as a mom.
Yeah.
Because I grew up with incredible parents. I'm so fortunate.
Mhm.
I just thought that all parents love their kids.
I know.
And,
Same.
like,
Same.
I was so naive.
I know. It makes a huge difference.
Yeah, to love your kids enough to
And it's a
let them mess up.
sacrifice.
It is.
It is. And
Yeah.
sometimes it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
One of my kids, which shall remain nameless, cheated.
We got a 33% chance of guessing it right.
Yeah, cheated in a class.
Oh, you narrowed it down
Okay.
to 50% chance.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah. So they got an Apple Watch in high school, and they just wanted to see if they could do it. But they cheated in a class that was my college roommate was the teacher.
Oh man.
I'm like, you're dumb. You're so like, she's gonna catch you.
Yeah.
Okay. So
And let's backtrack a second. People who catch it probably did some things themselves in
oh
college.
sure,
that,
sure, I'm sure we all did. But this person got caught and suffered the consequences.
Mhm.
I'm like, well, you get the consequences that happened in her room. I get your Apple Watch for a while, and you need to write a note of apology, talk to her about it, like all of the
So
things.
wait, you did not go to the teacher and say, my precious
No,
angel would
no,
never do this. They've
no.
never done it before. You are wrong, teacher.
No.
Right.
This teacher's a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
And that kid learned from that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's hard. I'm sure you're like,
but that teacher was also very forgiving.
yeah.
I accept your apology. Let's move forward.
Yeah.
And that human interaction, like, you need to be able to take ownership of your mistakes,
Mhm.
which people don't do anymore.
No,
They
wanna
just
pass the
hide.
buck.
Yeah, they hide their mistakes or pass it along. And those little things make a huge difference in adults. And now that kid is a high functioning adult. But it's
Not
those
gonna cheat on their Apple Watch anymore.
no, and it could have been really embarrassing. Like it was
Yeah.
like, oh I'm a teacher, but life lessons, and that's how kids learn. They just want to see if they can do things. And guess what? You can't. So
I always said when I was teaching too, because this was before I had kids, so I'd be a very different teacher now
Yeah.
that I have kids.
yeah.
But I remember thinking, I'm not worried as much about the child's behavior. Kids
Yeah.
are gonna mess up. They
For
want to test
sure.
the limits. So
For
please
sure.
know, like, it's not a judgment of you as a parent.
No.
And teachers know that.
Yeah.
Their kids are trying to test the limits. I always paid attention to how is the parent going to respond.
For sure.
And if the parent was like, well, I know you think you saw it with your own eyes, teacher, but my kid, my baby, my angel
I
would
know.
never do. I'm like, okay, this is going to be problematic for
Right.
your child.
Right.
But if the parent was like, oh man, I will take care of this, I'm like, your kid's going to be fine.
Yeah.
Your kid's going to be fine
For
because
sure.
the parent is on it. So
For sure.
parents don't think that teachers are judging you because your
No.
kid messed up.
No.
We know that.
I'm so thankful for parents who give kids consequences.
Yeah.
So thankful.
Yeah, they
For
need
sure.
to know, like,
Yeah.
natural consequences happen. I even tell that to my kids. I'm like, listen, as a grown-up, like, if I don't do my part for society, I'm
Yeah.
gonna get consequences.
Right.
And mine are big. Like, it could be jail or
Right.
big fines.
Right.
Like, that's the way life works.
Right.
Or even on a smaller scale, my consequences, because I stayed up too late, I'm gonna feel terrible tomorrow.
Yeah.
Be cranky and
Yeah.
still have to do all the adult stuff,
For-
right?
for
So
sure.
like,
Mm-hmm.
it is important.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to come full circle. We
Okay.
started with like having tough conversations. One of the things that you taught me was speech class,
Mm-hmm.
which I loved. I loved speech class.
You either love or hate it.
Yes, it challenged me
Yeah,
so much. It
it's a
made me
good
very
class.
nervous, especially because speaking in front of your peers.
Yeah, that's the worst.
The worst.
It is.
Like trial by fire. And one segment was debate.
Mm-hmm.
And we see a lot of people on social media debating ineffectively,
Yes.
mind you.
Yeah.
They're ranting, not really
Mhm.
debating. There's only been 2 people that I have seen. One has since passed, but one's a very intelligent Democrat. One's a
Okay.
very intelligent Republican.
Okay.
When they would debate, I was learning
Right.
because it was factual.
Right.
And it was
Right.
so good. I'm like, oh, I see your point. Oh, I see your point. It was
Mhm.
great. We don't
Mhm.
see that typically.
No.
So what are some of the things that you're teaching your students that we adults need to remember when it comes to disagreeing and debating with each other so that we're not fighting,
Okay.
like bickering teenagers?
Well, one of the things I used to always say to my former speech kids was, it doesn't really matter what you believe. It only matters what you can prove.
It
in a
does
debate.
not matter what you believe. It matters what you can prove.
Right.
I like that.
Yeah. And so I would say that over and over because they would just want to argue. And I'm like, you have to have evidence to win a debate. It can't just be, I feel this way.
And should it be like one source of evidence from the same?
No. No. From
I'm saying-
Wikipedia. No. And so, that I think helped, and teaching them, okay, the opponent said this. What are you going to say to prove that wrong? And can you? If not, they're going to win that point. So
And that's okay for them to win a point.
yeah, for sure.
Right,
For
like-
sure. And in the real world, life is not black and white. So
Mm-mm.
both sides have good and bad. And so that, I think that was a really big thing, is that you have to be able to prove what you're saying. And also you have to be able to listen. Like if you don't know what they're saying, how can you prove it wrong?
Yeah,
You
if you're super emotionally charged the
Yes.
moment you hear a word or whatever,
Yeah,
it's our job as the adult to learn how to self-regulate,
right.
calm ourselves down, and
Yes.
actually hear what's being said.
Yes, for sure.
That's so
And
true. Like listening is a huge part of debate.
Yeah, it's half of it.
I mean,
Listening
really.
is 50% of communication also, which we don't teach. 50% is listening,
Yeah.
and we don't do that. And
And actually listening, not waiting to say our
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Like, oh, I'm going to wait till you're done. So I
Yes,
could
hurry
just,
up, hurry up.
yeah,
Yes.
like actually being in the moment.
Yes. And one of the things I've learned probably in the last decade, just by watching sound bites, is that half of them are not true.
Yeah, because
Okay.
it's a soundbite.
Right. And they're not in context, and they're not even accurate. It's just someone's opinion. And so sometimes it's better to stay quiet and wait until the truth comes out. And
Time reveals all truth.
it does. And teaching your kids that, like, okay, even on the playground, something, so and so's mean, or so and so's whatever. My oldest child is very like fairness matters. Okay, I want it to be fair. And so she was always, as a little kid, well, that's not fair, and that kid needs punished or whatever. And so over the years, you just have to sit and wait and watch, because as things play out, typically the truth comes out and the consequence happens for people. And it might be 10 years down the road. And does it really need to be you that holds the world accountable for right and wrong?
And the reality is, if you do want to, then I'm actually doing a segment on somebody who's going to come in and talk about what you can actively do if you want to make change. Ranting on Facebook,
not helping.
Arguing with people, that is not solving any problems. Like, if you want to solve problems, then go actually solve them.
Right. And I will say, in many of my posts as a teacher are not necessarily a rant because I'm mad, but this is the problem. What can we do to fix it?
Yes.
These are the things I'm seeing. What can we do as a society to make it better?
Because you're advocating for your students.
Right.
That's what you're doing. Your heart is for them. For
sure. And so it's interesting to see the responses of people. Some people would call it a rant. And I'm like, I am not against education. I'm an educator. Like, I like education. I want to be fixing things and educating the masses. And
it's how you make your big bucks.
I mean, big time.
You are loaded.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. But yeah, I just am like, it's interesting because people just assume things about you.
Yeah.
If you have an opinion, and we have to stop. We have to stop, and we have to like take people into consideration, like their situation and all of the factors. It's not just, oh, you're a Republican or a Democrat or whatever, like, you're not just one thing.
Yeah.
And so that's how everybody is more than one thing. And so one of the greatest gifts I think theater gives to my students is the fact that they work together intensely on a project to create a show. And it takes a variety of people to do that. You have to have the kids with the lighting and the sound and the singers and the dancers and the person who's moving the costumes and moving the curtain and all of the things. And they realize that they can't do it by themselves. They're all relying on each other, and they're all so different, and they have nothing in common. And by the end, they're a family because they've worked together as a team.
I saw that. Yes.
Yeah. And that's what has to happen in the real world. We need each other. We need the team of people and humans that we're around. And we have to stop thinking it's my way or the highway. I'm right. And I'm going to get a little worked up here.
No, I appreciate it.
And just like see the gift that other people are in your world and use those gifts for good.
I agree.
I
think that's the perfect ending because I completely agree.
we need to have
good people working together.
We do.
We need good people.
We have so many good people in the world.
Are.
So many.
There
so
are
many
people. So thank you for being here.
Yeah, it was fun.
And
it was
this
fun.
was so good.
I love it. My little speech student grew up.
No, I'm 42.
Oh my goodness. What does that make me?
43.
43. That's right. I was very young when I was a teacher.
Very young. She's a prodigy.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Thanks
it.
for asking.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Be the Change, a mini series on Diary of a Dreamer. My hope is that these conversations leave you feeling more informed, more confident in your ability to think critically, and more empowered to contribute positively in your own community. Real change doesn't come from reacting quickly. It comes from thoughtful people who are willing to stay curious, ask good questions, and take meaningful action. If this episode encouraged you, please subscribe, leave a review, and share this podcast with someone who values thoughtful conversations and positive change. You can learn more about my work and find additional resources at tashaeisinger.com. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep learning, and remember, each of us has the power to be the change.